This little camera came out quite a while ago. Some might even argue that I'm a bit late to the party. You see, recently I went to the Peak District in UK to shoot some content for Ford Mustang, and part of it was to shoot good-looking cinematic content that doesn't look too professional. That's when I had the chance to try one of these. In fact, I was so surprised by the quality that I decided to get one myself. That's what brings me here today to Paris. I wanted to see if I can film a whole cinematic video with just this little camera, as well as share with you accessories that you might find useful if you want to buy one, and the best settings to use for your videos. So without further ado, let's get into it. And there you have it, a short cinematic piece I shot in 2 days, just with the Pocket 3. Now that you're curious, let's dive into this camera a bit more. In a very simple way, a Pocket 3 is a camera that sits somewhere between an iPhone and a bigger mirrorless camera like the Sony FX3. It is capable of shooting 4K at 120 frames per second, and it can shoot in 10-bit, meaning that you can get crisp image and you can really push those sliders to really go in depth and go as creative as you want with your color grades. And since this camera is on a small gimbal, you can get some really smooth panning shots without the need of extra accessories that you need for an iPhone or a bigger mirrorless camera. But I think the biggest selling factor for me has been the size and the overall user experience. In fact, let me show you. Here's my iPhone 14 Pro Max, and here is the Sony FX3 rig. Actually, let's make it a bit more fair. Here's just the Sony FX3 with a 24mm lens, and then there's this guy. Smaller than both by a mile. To turn it on, you simply flip the screen and the Pocket 3 is ready to be used. As for the settings, there are 4 things that I think you should change straight away. Number 1, select 4K at any frame rate you prefer. In my case, it's 25 frames per second. Next, you have the exposure. Always go manual. Your default shutter speed should be double your frame rate for natural motion blur. As for the ISO, I usually stick with 50 to 400. Anything above that kind of gets a bit too grainy for my liking. Number 3, I keep all the other settings on default, apart from the color. To get the most out of the 10-bit recording, make sure you're filming in D-Log-M. And for your edits, you should download the D-Log-M conversion LUT to Rec 709. And finally, one last thing I like to have are grid lines, just so I can compose my shots a little bit easier. Wait, since we're talking about cinematic videos, why don't I tell you about voiceovers? The Paris video you saw earlier could be made better with a voiceover, so I thought, why don't I show you how to generate one just for this video. The tool that I use is Motion Ray, who are kindly sponsoring this video. With their new AI voiceover, you can browse through an extensive voice catalog and pick the voice that suits your video the best. Once you've done that, you can paste your script, set the mood and the speed you're going for, and hit generate. Pro tip is to paste 1 or 2 sentences at a time and then work on the punctuation to really nail in the emotion and the expressiveness you want to get. The whole process is super fast, and what you end up with is a professional sounding voice that adds a whole nother storytelling aspect to your video.
It was a place of memories and wonder, wandering streets and watching people pass by. The rich history, hauntingly beautiful. Each step a story, new memories to be made. Paris forever holds my heart.
And aside from that, Motion Ray has other tools as well, like sound effects, motion graphics, and even templates, all that you can use at any time. In fact, if I wanted to ask you to subscribe to this video, all the assets that you're seeing right now would be taken from Motion Array. So if you want to learn more about Motion Array and their new AI voiceover feature, head to the link in the description and check it out for yourself. Now that I've told you the secret, let's move back to the video. Finally, we can get into the accessories you might need. First off, I think you should get a wide-angle attachment lens. The only downside to the Pocket 3 is the fact that it's fixed zoom lens, which is around 20mm. So an accessory you might need is a wide angle that you simply attach magnetically, and that way you get 2 different focal lengths to play with. The second accessory you can't go without is a pack of ND filters. Now the ones that I have circular polarizer filters built in. It comes in different strengths, so I just simply attach the one that suits the conditions I'm shooting in. For example, now I'm shooting with the ND16 filter, which helps with cloudy environments during the day. And finally, the accessory you might want to get is a microphone, which, funny enough, I don't have. And the reason why I think you should get it is if you're thinking of getting a DJI Pocket 3, you're most likely thinking of getting it for vlogs and as a main camera for small bits here and there. And that's when you will definitely need a microphone, as the one that's built into this is not bad, but it's not great either. Now, a couple of accessories that should be on your radar, I know they are on mine and they're on my wish list, are a cage, a suction mount, a mist filter, and some kind of a shock absorber for when you want to put it on a car. But those are less essential. And that's all the accessories I think you need for the DJI Pocket 3. Hopefully this video has shown you that you can create some cinematic content with something as simple as this. And if you're still watching, give it a like and subscribe. We've grown massively, and recently we actually hit 1K mark, which is crazy for me. So give it a subscribe, and honestly, I just can't wait to keep creating more videos that I like and that gives value to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.